We're talking about dizziness and what causes dizziness. And there's so many things that can be the cause of feeling dizzy. One thing is called benign paroxysmal positional vertigo. Boy, that's a mouthful. We call it BPPV. But what it means is that you're dizzy in certain positions, that whenever you turn your head a certain direction, it makes you feel dizzy. So let's talk about what BPPV is and whether or not that's what's causing your dizziness. I'm Dr. Karen Melton with Hearing Care Partners. One of the things about dizziness is that there's a whole myriad of things that could be causing dizziness. And it's really hard for physicians, ENTs, and audiologists like me to tell what's causing that problem. So for instance, you may say, if I get up out of a chair and walk across the room, I notice that I get suddenly off balance. Or when I first get up out of bed in the morning, it takes me a minute to get stable. You may say, I had this spinning feeling, like my body's spinning or the room is spinning. Something's rolling. You may even have a situation where you're so dizzy that you have to crawl to the bathroom to throw up. We never want that one. I feel sorry for all those that have to go through that. So the problem with it is that dizziness, and that kind of is all of those things. All those things that I just mentioned can all be called dizziness. What we find is that dizziness can be caused by allergies or hormone changes, having a cold, maybe an ear infection, wax in your ears, or something more significant like an inner ear problem, or as much as a brain issue. So there's a whole gamut of things that can cause dizziness. And our job as audiologists is to help the physicians and to help the ENTs knock things off the list. And that's basically what it comes down to. We start saying it's not that, run blood work looks fine. You know, you're not having any other allergy symptoms, it's probably not that. So we kind of go through the list of what it isn't so that we can figure out what it is. When people come to an audiologist for dizziness, the things that we know for sure as an audiologist, the ear-related dizziness can be something like what's called a positional dizziness. If you want to look up BPPV, it's benign paroxysmal positional vertigo. You have to be tested to have an actual diagnosis, but I can tell you what the symptoms are, and you can determine if that fits something that you've experienced. This would be something like when you're reaching up on the top shelf at Walmart and you're looking up, that makes you dizzy. Or if you turn your head real quickly to one side, like in the car and you're looking out the window, that makes you dizzy. Maybe laying down in bed at night or rolling over in bed at night, that makes you dizzy. What the point of that is, it's in certain positions that you notice being dizzy. So it's a positional vertigo. It's a positional dizziness. I'm going to back up for a second and talk just a minute about vertigo. The term vertigo literally means spinning. So if you do not have a spinning sensation where you're spinning or the room is spinning, you do not have what's called vertigo. That would be dizziness, lightheadedness, some of those other like adjectives to describe it. But true vertigo is an actual spinning sensation. So if you get in certain positions and you feel like the room is shifting or moving, or you're moving in the room, that's what we would consider to be actual vertigo. And the positional type, one of the things that the thing that causes that is, this is really cool, follow my noodle. In the inner ear, there's 3 canals. There's one canal that lies vertically. There's another canal that is horizontal. And there's a third canal that's in between the two. At the base of those 3 semicircles is a bowl. We're going to call it like a bowl of milk. And if you think about maybe your favorite cereal, let's say, if you let it sit in the milk too long, it drops to the bottom. So many physicians will describe this to patients as rocks or crystals, that they're in the bottom of that bowl. Well, sometimes you may have a car accident or some kind of a jarring, maybe you fell and hit hard, or even some illnesses can cause those rocks or crystals, that cereal on the bottom of the bowl, to bump out of the bowl and to get into one of these canals. The canals are extremely important because they tell you where you are in space. So if I lean forward, the fluid goes into that forward swinging canal and it tells my brain I'm leaning forward. Or if I lean backward, the fluid goes to the back of that canal and it tells me I'm laying back. If I go to the side, same thing, it goes into that one. The really cool thing is if you go on a ride, say you're on like a roller coaster ride that goes upside down, when you have that movement upside down, that's what gives you that flippity feeling in your belly. So if you've done that before, even like hung on like monkey bars, if you hang and let your head hang, it feels weird. And a lot of it's because you're not used to feeling that fluid on that part of those canals. So those are your circular canals. Like I said, you got that cup of milk with the rocks, crystals, cereal, whatever you want to think of it at the bottom of them. But sometimes when you have those moments of jarring, a sudden smack, maybe even a hit upside the head, something like that, like if you're in sports, you might get knocked with an elbow. But sometimes those crystals and rocks, they bump into a canal that they're not supposed to be in. And what happens then is when you go into those positions, when you turn your head or roll over at night, the fluid that runs in that canal detects those crystals and tells your brain something's not right. It's like, hey, something's messed up here. This isn't where it's supposed to be. I don't know what to do with it. So all that we have to do in those situations of positional vertigo is we have to put you in certain positions to get those crystals and rocks back where they belong. Physical therapists do a great job too. This is another way that you can help if it's a true positional vertigo. So all we have to do is get the head in a couple of different positions, have you rolling in a certain direction, staying in that space for a given amount of time. And then we get the crystals and rocks back in the space they're supposed to be. After that, you need to hold your head very still where you're not bending over or aggravating those. We want them to settle, and it takes a little bit of time for those crystals and rocks to settle back in place. Of all the types of dizziness in the ear, that's the best one to have. So that is a quick note about benign paroxysmal positional vertigo, also known as BPPV. For more information, you can reach us at hearingcarepartners.com, where we listen so you can hear.